Welcome to the Goonie Gunfighter. I am Lee and I am your Goonie Gunfighter. Today we will be talking about the 4 firearm safety rules. There are 4 of them. They are all 4 very important when handling a firearm, whether you're a rank amateur or a barrel-chested freedom fighting professional. So we're going to get started, but before we do, I am going to use an actual firearm for this demonstration. Just to make sure that everyone is very clear about what we do and what we don't do. So what I have here is a Glock 19 9mm pistol. I'm just going to clear it for the audience just to make sure that I am not utilizing a loaded firearm when conducting these demonstrations. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide to the rear, and I'm going to physically and visually inspect the chamber as well as the magazine well, and I'm going to show you guys, and hopefully I'm not pointing myself at this, but there we are. There is the chamber and the feed ramp there, free of ammunition, and same thing, there is no magazine in the firearm. Yeah, there we go, I'm looking in there. So now I'm going to just put the firearm back in the battery, and hopefully I won't let this leave the screen. Just to make sure that the quality control is real and we're handling a safe firearm. So the first rule is to always treat your firearm like it's loaded. These are very, very, very dangerous items, and when treated with, when not treated with respect, it can be it can be very deadly. The consequences can be very deadly. So we're always going to treat the firearm like it's loaded. I know some people are out there and they're like, well, if it's not loaded, I could just aim it at anyone because I know it's not loaded. You know what? That's probably true. The gun's not loaded, so you can probably aim it safely at somebody. But guess what? There might be that one day where it's not unloaded and it's loaded, and you decide to aim that gun at someone you don't want to shoot at. So save yourself a lot of trouble. Don't be an ass. Treat it like it's always loaded. Don't be a dick. All right, it's just too difficult to keep track of that. All right, just always treat it like they're loaded. It also teaches you bad habits. So always treat them like they're loaded. Okay. So the second rule is, and I have my little notes here because I'm trying to be a pseudo professional here. But always keep your finger off the trigger. I know you're probably going to notice that, especially some of you pros and amateur pros out there, I have been keeping my trigger finger off of the trigger. It's very important that you always keep your finger off the trigger until you are ready to shoot. Today I will not be shooting, so today I will not have my finger on the trigger. Like I said, it's another thing that develops a lot of bad habits. If you start going around, especially if you carry concealed, or if you're a professional and you're always walking around with your finger on the trigger, you might shoot the gun when you don't want to, and therefore you'll have a negligent discharge. Just make sure you always keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to go full operator. All right. Third rule is make sure that do not point the gun at things that you're not willing to destroy. All right, it's very important. This goes on to the whole when you're practicing and everything. Make sure that when you're practicing or whenever you're manipulating the firearm, make sure the gun isn't being pointed at something you're not willing to destroy. As an example, right now while I'm doing this video, I do have a concrete ceiling. I'm always willing to destroy me some concrete. What I'm not doing is waving my firearm willy-nilly at everyone, because I am in my home and I do have pets and I do have a very long, beautiful wife that's wandering around, and I don't want this gun pointed at her at all, or my pets, my 2 cats and my dog. I love those guys. All right, so just make sure that you're pointing your bammer slammer at shit that you're not willing to destroy. Okay, you don't want to shoot anything in the fucking face that you don't think deserves to get shot in the fucking face. So rule number 4, and this is also very, very key. Make sure you know your target and its surroundings. This applies to both whether you're practicing on the range or you are actually in a full-on gunfight mode. You got to make sure that you're watching what you're shooting. All right, you have to be accountable for all your shots. All right, none of this spray and pray nonsense. That's for Hollywood, and you know Hollywood doesn't have shit dick right. Just so make sure that you are accountable for all your rounds, because if you're not, those rounds are going somewhere and they might hit something that you don't want to hit. It could be a child, it could be a fucking nuclear weapon, it could be a highly priced Maserati that you can suddenly get dinged for fucking punching a hole in. Just whatever. Just make sure you're accountable for all your rounds. Make sure you know your target and the surroundings. And it also, like I said, it develops bad habits. Why are you gonna, aim small, miss small? All right? So, I'm gonna take the gun out of view. I'm gonna put it back in the safe possible condition, which is back in my holster here. This has been Lee, and I am your Goonie Gunfighter, and those have been the 4 firearm safety rules. Thank you again. We're going to be talking in the next video about some of the California laws, because I am a California resident. Some of the California gun laws that are very draconian, very, very, very strict, and unconstitutional, but those will be in a later video. Thank you for listening, and take it easy, all right? And be safe out there.